So, hello everyone. My name is Dhayani. I have around 7 years of experience as a Salesforce administrator and BA. I worked in Wells Fargo, India, and recently moved to US. So it's my honor to uh, host as a host in this conference. So our next speaker is Sammy. He is a managing director of Imbus Canada Corporation and a leading figure in software testing and quality assurance. With over 17 years of experience, Sammy has been instrumental in shaping Imbus Canada into a top solution partner known for its focus on effectiveness and innovation. He is also a founding member and board director of TMMi America, contributing significantly to global software quality standards. So, Sammy, we welcome you, and you can go ahead with the presentation.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Dharani, for your nice introduction. Um, so today's topic is testing AI-based systems, and we're going to consider maturity of the quality. We'll talk about risks and also some ethical assurance. Because of AI, we need to talk about something related to ethical. So I'll skip this part. Dharani already talked about me. So today's agenda, the increasing use of the AI in software system, it creates new challenges for software testers like us. The traditional methods do not really fully address all those AI systems that rely on data that can change. The data can change, and also the system has to adapt over time. The traditional method doesn't address them. That is why we have AI, which can talk about those change of data and the adaptation. Because of this, there may be they may face some issues like biased data, changes in the model behavior, inconsistent performance, and also concerns about the fairness and transparency, ethics, and everything else. So using maturity frameworks such as the TMMi. In this presentation, I will try to describe how organizations can gradually improve their testing and to address the AI-related risks. Also, this includes validating training data, tracking model performance, and also managing some of the ethical risks. Okay, here are some of the agendas that I'm going to talk about, and I will go through each of them one slide at a time, and then I will talk a little bit more about those agendas. Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about the role of artificial intelligence in modern software testing. Software testing is changing because today's softwares are more complex and they're released much more faster. Modern applications also, they are large and are they more connected, right? And often they're often updated very frequently using DevOps, continuous integration, continuous delivery practices. At the same time, many software products now include artificial intelligence, right, which introduces new risks, new uncertainties. Because of these changes, traditional method alone is not enough. So artificial intelligence is becoming an important tool to help maintain software quality, improve efficiency, and also manage risks in modern software testing. Now, the imperative for AI in testing, the rise in AI in software testing is happening now because of the perfect storm that we have, which is new technology and the increasing demand. Essentially, we finally have some tools that will make it work, right? The old ways of testing can't keep up with this increasing demand. Why AI is possible now? If you think about this, now we have a much better hardware, right? Computers are much faster, especially thanks to powerful graphic chip that can handle complex math problems. And also more data, right? We have a massive amount of information to train AI system. These informations have been accumulated for over 20 years now. And also open access. Developers now have easy access to free, high quality AI tools and also frameworks that's available, which is also TMMi, which tries to address those AI related frameworks. So why is AI necessary now? The one as I talked about earlier is the complexity, right? The software is getting bigger, it is getting more complex every day, so we need AI to address those challenges. And the second would be the speed, right? Business wants to release their features much faster, faster than ever, and also with more complexity. So I think will be very beneficial to address this complexity and the speed, plus the maintenance, right? Traditional automated tests are becoming more expensive and they are becoming more difficult to manage. So we are building AI driven apps that can actually need AI to help them test, right? So, talking about AI augmented testing, it's not just about adding new tools to testing. It represents major change in how software quality is managed. Um, Industry analysts note that organizations are under pressure to develop software faster while still maintaining the high quality. To meet this challenge, many companies are starting to use AI powered testing tools that can help analyze information, prioritize what should be tested first, and support better decision. It is expected that AI assisted testing will soon become a normal part of software development tools. It is also important to understand that AI does not replace software testers. Instead, it will help them automate tasks that require large amount of data, and also to find the pattern that happens consistently or the pattern that could happen inconsistently. So identify those patterns which may not be possible by human. AI would be a good assistance. This allows testers to spend more time on important activities such as evaluating risks, planning test strategies, and also applying critical thinking. When it comes to application, AI helps software testing in three main ways, right? Finding weird behavior, organizing bug report, and also predicting where the problem could happen. Instead of human hunting through thousands of lines of data, AI can act like an high-powered filter that can point out exactly what needs the most attention. The three ways I think AI can improve testing is number one would be spotting any weird behaviors. AI looks at system logs and test results to find anomalies, that is the things that doesn't look right. This helps testers ignore the noise and find the real bug much faster. And the second improvement would be organizing bug reports. AI can read through multiple bug reports. It can automatically group them into similar bugs together and flag the most important one, which is a huge help for testers like us, so that we can prioritize what needs to be done. And finally, predicting future problems, right? AI uses predictive analytics to guess which part of the softwares are most likely to break. Uh, it tells the team exactly what test needs to be run first, and also they don't waste time on parts that are already working fine, right? So we see AI having some uh, leverage in identifying weird behavior and also organizing bugs, as well as the predicting the future problems. When we talk about advancements, AI is changing how we build and run automated tests. In the past, automated test was very brittle. Some of you already might have experienced, meaning they could break even when a button has been moved, or even the font color or font size has been changed, right? AI makes this test much smarter and harder to break. How can AI fix automation? The first would be better eyes, right? Instead of looking for a specific code, AI uses visual recognition to find buttons and menus, just like humans would. This means that if the underlying code has changed slightly, the test wouldn't fail because it could still recognize those menus and the buttons. Next would be auto writing scripts. Generative AIs like Code Assist, they can now write test scripts for you. It can suggest ways to make them better and also help up clean any old code. The next would be what would be the catch here, right? Imagine even for the AI assist, we do still need human interventions. While AI is fast, it is not perfect. If you let AI run without any supervision, then you might end up with a messy or incorrect test, right? And also, we need expert oversight. You still need experienced testers, somebody who's familiar with the domain, to double check if the AI is doing correctly, right? Not everything the AI does might be accurate. So the experienced tester would bring in their experience and the domain knowledge that can ensure that what the AI work has been complete or whether it is correct or incorrect. Finally, the strategic thinking, right? Humans are still the one who decides what needs to be tested and why it needs to be tested, right? Ensuring the AI still stays on track with the company goals. Now, talking about autonomous and intelligent capabilities, AI isn't just for every specific task, right? It can be plugged into entire test life cycle. It helps from very first day, from the time you start writing your test plan, all the way till the last day where you're monitoring your progress and when it goes live, right? How AI can cover this whole process. Number one, from the planning stage, right? It can read the requirements and it can suggest what needs to be tested first. Right? And the second would be prioritizing. It can pick most important tests to run so that you don't have to waste time. Next comes the security. It acts like a digital guard, spotting security holes and any weird glitches much earlier than human might, right? And also the continuous feedback. It creates a loop where the system is constantly learning from its own mistake and getting it better over time. So the most advanced AI doesn't just need help with testing, it can actually perform autonomous testing, meaning it explores and tests any applications on its own. It uses agents that can learn how those apps work, which is also a lifesaver for testing apps and also for finding defects in possibly a new projects, right? Now, talking about AI-based systems, there is a big difference between testing AI to help you test, as well as testing an AI system itself, right? You can use AI for testing and also testing an AI. So testing an actual AI, for example, like a chatbot, is much more harder because AI doesn't always give you the same result twice. It makes it tough to know what is correct if you don't get the same predictable response, right? Each response will depends on the inputs and the way the inputs have been provided. So why AI testing is different? Number one, hidden bias. If the data used to train the AI is biased, then the AI, it's possible that AI can make unfair decisions without any human interventions. And the next would be drift. Over time, AI can get dumber, right? Or it can change its behavior as it sees new data. So that could become a problematic. So testing AI, you have to consider the bias, the drift, and also there's no right answer per se, right? As I said earlier, you do not get the same response for every inputs. It depends on how the inputs has been provided. So there is really no simple right answer. As an example, if you say 2 plus 2, which is 4, in AI, it is always, it's not going to be pass or fail, right? It depends on the environment, it depends on the circumstances. So you have to keep in mind when testing AI-based systems, you have to keep in mind the inputs and how and the environment that those inputs have been provided. And finally comes the ethics, right? That is one of the topic today is ethics. You have to test for things like fairness, transparency, not just for speed and bugs. Right. So, talking about how the companies are keeping up with this, right? Industry standards like a TMMi model. I think lots of speakers have prior to me has already talked about those models. They are being updated to handle these kind of new challenges. I will put one slide later at the end of this to show you some of the changes in regards to AI and the TMMi. To do this right, companies can't just wing it. They need to have a disciplined process that can look at, for example, the data quality, right? That is the information going into AI, is it clean? Is it fair, right? And also the next is the risk management. What happens if AI makes any weird or unethical decisions without proper supervision? That could be the huge risk. And the company, they can constantly watch AI performance on a daily basis, not just on when you launch them or not only during the reporting time, right? AI has to be monitored consistently to ensure that the behavior is consistent, right? Now, as a TMMI, I think some of us already showed you the model before. We talked about this model prior, right? There are 5 levels in the model. AI is not just a quick fix for improving quality, right? It works best when supported by skilled professionals, having clear set of rules and also strong industry standards, similar to what we have, the TMMI models. So in TMMI, we have 5 different model. Initial model, which is really not much. So next is the managed, then defined, then measured, and also the optimization. AI should be seen as a helpful partner that can support testers, not replace them. As software system becomes more complex and intelligent, using AI in testing is becoming an important strategic steps for organizations. So what TMMI has done in regards to AI is they have introduced, which is in progress, and I think this is already the final stage. Here's an example of level 2 where AI can make a big impact. Right. For example, considering, I'll go to the previous slide just to show the level 2, which is managed. We have a test policy, which is in the test strategy, planning, monitoring and control, design and execution, and environments. So these are all very traditional approaches. So how can we bring in AI to help with the managed level? Right. So, for example, in test policy and strategy, there could be more explicit focus on ethics, bias, data, regulations. Right. There could be a distinction between offline and online test, and also like a test performance indicators. When it comes to planning, more specialized testing, especially for AI components, offline test phase with data preparation, data pre-processing, online preparation such as non-AI component testing of non-AI components, and also with interaction with those AI components, and also more complex test with the AI efforts. When it comes to monitoring and control, this is where AI might have a very big impact. Monitoring model data, any drift, and also continuously monitoring for performance, for consistency, for transparency, and also for metrics. Right? There's, as I said, AI has to be monitored on a daily basis to ensure that it is consistent and it is fair throughout the process. When it comes to design and execution, focusing on data preparation, test cases that can train, validate, and tune the model and the test strategy. When it comes to environment, complex environments, self-learning environments, autonomy, multi-data or big data, right? So these are some of the areas that TMMI is addressing to include AI into their framework. Okay, that is all I need to talk about today to bring in AI and also to show some maturity around the AI. Um, okay, Dharani, if you have, I think, I don't know if you have any time, maybe I'll be open for one questions. If not, I will be also available during the network session later in the day. Maybe you can also bring in some of your questions while I answer my questions, and also I can talk about some of the services my organizations would offer.
Yeah, Sammy, we have like few minutes. We can just ask one or two questions, then we can connect in networking again.
Okay.
So, yeah, a question: how should engineering leaders revise test objectives and strategies when interrogating AI-specific risk like data bias, model drift, and ethical fairness into maturity progression?
Yeah, that is one of the big challenge, right? That is what I've been talking about is having this huge set of data, having this established processes, and how do we bring in AI? Again, you have to consider your requirement. Not every the projects or every task you perform would need AI interventions, right? The best strategy would be to find an area where you have find an area where there's a sort of uncertainties, the area that is not usually easy for human interventions. Having So that's one, right? Number one is finding the area that's uncertain so that you can have some kind of intervention with the AI. Number two is the data. It depends, the outcome you're expecting from the system, it depends on the AI, right? For example, in traditional test, we have a test oracle. You have a set of inputs, you have based on those inputs, you have set of expected outputs. But in AI, you cannot rely on those test oracle itself, because the same set of inputs at a various degree of variations can have a big deviations when it comes to the output. So you have to be very careful when you provide those inputs and outputs, right? So going back to your question, number one, to make sure it is really AI intervention is essential. If it is, choose an area that is more unpredictable or more difficult for human interventions, and also have a clear set data, right? Because that is more important. Having a clean, transparent, and also consistent data would be very helpful to judge if the AI is really helping with your process. I hope that answers the question. If you need more elaboration, also, as I said, there is a networking session that I will be having my own virtual booth, and maybe you can pop in and we can have some examples. We can talk about some examples as well.
Yeah, sure, Sammy. Thank you. Thank you for Thank you for your time and your presentation. It was wonderful, and we had a lot of insights to take home.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. And everyone have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.